Bam, Spo said post game that it's a shame that this group is gonna be remembered for this 4-0 sweep and these last two home games. Can you just kind of talk about just the general reactions coming off of that 55-point loss?
We lost.
Bam, what can you guys take away? I know we've asked a lot about how they were scheming, specifically Tyler, but in terms of how they defended you guys as a team, what can you take away from the series?
It's not even about how they defended us. I felt like we just weren't patient enough to see what they were doing. Especially the first quarter, just quick shots, just playing random basketball. And as you know, in the playoffs, it can get ugly.
Bam, you've said a few times that this has been the roughest season of your career. Now that it ended tonight, how would you kind of sum up what this season's been like for you and just the team?
I mean, a lot of ups and downs. But we fought at the end of the day. So, I mean, you're talking about a 10th seed that made the playoffs. That's one more victory we can leave with, but, this has got to fuel a lot of us going into the offseason. You got a lot of time to understand what happened today, look at and remember how this felt. And then you come back next year and see what happens.
Yeah, you spoke a lot about the experiences throughout the season, like the 10-game skid and how that could build some sort of character. Can you just kind of talk about maybe that being the one bright side from this all is that, again, going into next season is going to fuel you guys?
Yeah, definitely going to fuel us from that standpoint. Like I said, we got to let go of this rope a long time ago. We could have quit during the 10-game winning streak and just been like, just cough up the season. The organization, the coaches, players. But we were obsessed with trying to dig ourselves out of the hole and to push yourself to a point where you give yourself a chance. That's all you can ask for, from my point of view with, the younger guys watching, them understanding that you never know what can happen in this league. You put a little faith and obsession into it.
Bam, 2 straight years of losing in the first round, and obviously you guys hold yourselves to a higher standard than that. What do you think needs to change?
What needs to change? I don't know. It's going to be a lot of changes this summer. Just from my point of view, understanding how, the guy with the silver hair works. So just be prepared for that. And, for me, man, it's understanding got to figure out how to win a game in the playoffs. You understand how hard it is when you actually get into these trenches. So you take that and you figure it out.
Bam, obviously they take the captaincy around here very seriously. And, you have that title for a reason, but at the same time, you've probably learned along the way that there's certain things you can control and certain things you can't. How frustrating is it when you want certain things and just can't will them into existence, even with that captaincy?
Like you said, man, it comes with the territory sometimes. Understanding that you can only control what you can control. For me, it's controlling the locker room, and that's trying to get guys ready for basketball games, which obviously I didn't do well at, especially this last game. So, going into the summer, I got a lot to think about and how I can bounce back from this.
When Spo was just up there, he was talking about the plane ride you guys had after the play-in and just like how much fun that plane ride was. What do you remember from that moment? And I guess how do you cherish like some of those smaller victories you had this year in light of everything?
I mean, we've been through a lot this year. So for me, man, it's just you got to enjoy the small moments. We play basketball 9 to 10 months out the year, and you got to enjoy those small moments because you'll never know when you get those back. You know, you never know who's going to be in the locker room next year. So being able to enjoy those moments, you know, in real time, it definitely makes it bigger than basketball.